Hello dear UPSC aspirants, I am Akriti Kanchi, your mentor from Prepp IAS. I am trying to help you read your newspaper effectively and as fast as possible. I am covering content both from prelims and mains point of view. And I keep telling you again and again, keep the syllabus of UPSC on the side while reading the newspaper and match the syllabus which I am referring to with respect to the article. This will help you understand newspaper and help you create a good syllabus, a good subject material for your exams. So let's start with today's newspaper. 13th February newspaper, the first article is 𝐼𝐞𝐥𝐜 project gains traction as PM holds talks with Macron. This comes under GS paper 2. Global regional groupings, regional agreements and groupings affecting India's interests. Okay, so India recently, our Prime Minister Modi has visited France, and then he has gone to USA. In France, he has attended AI Safety Summit. Right, so there are bilateral relations also going on and regional relations also. Right, so India and France announced that they would continue to work closely to implement the India, Middle East, Europe corridor, which is called 𝐼𝐞𝐥 corridor. The project proposes to connect India to Europe through sea and land routes. Okay, the two leaders recalled the launch of the 𝐼𝐞𝐥 on the margins of G20 summit in Delhi. In G20 summit in Delhi, the 𝐼𝐞𝐥 was announced. It can come as one of the points in prelims when the 𝐼𝐞𝐥 was announced in G20 Delhi, September 2023 summit. So you should know, right, about this. Let's move to the next article. Directly to the editorial. This newspaper has lesser number of articles, thankfully, and will save a lot of your time. Right. So next article is averting Angels pause. Okay. So this talks about GS paper 3 employment, AI issues. You know how AI field is going to affect employment. Okay. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi highlighted India's stance on the evolving artificial intelligence landscape at the AI Action, third AI Action Summit in Paris. First was in UK, second was in South Korea, right? So they are stressing on the need for governance and standards that uphold our shared values, address risks, and build trust, so that the entire world together can utilize the benefits of AI and restrict the problems that AI will bring, right? So innovations such as Chinese firm DeepSeek breakthrough reasoning models underscore the growing risk to labor markets. Okay, so the new technology is coming, how it's going to affect the labor market. So IT and service sector constitute a significant portion of India's economy, but employs a relatively smaller workforce. That we all know, that's in the common knowledge, that especially UPSC aspirants knows, right? So AI-driven efficiency gains present an attractive business proposition, yet the potential for job loss or stagnant wage growth in this sector, there is a risk. Why? Because economic survey of this year has quoted that there is a valid concern regarding an angel's pause. What is angel's pause? What happens with a phase where the company reaps the profit, reaps the benefit of that sector of new technology, while real wages of most of the employees stagnate. As we have seen in the IT firms, the owners of the IT companies are billionaires and millionaires, whereas the wages of the normal entering employee is not so good, right? So that is what the percentage with which wages have increased is very less compared to the profits of the corporates. This is called angel's pause, and that's why summits emphasize on sustainable AI growth and energy efficiency, right? Because of the climate issues also. US produces more than twice the electricity of India, where its population is just quarter of India, right? So much of electricity is going into the AI-driven energy demand, where the growth is powered by renewable. So the growth should be powered by the renewable energy resources, right? So India is focusing on the India AI mission initiatives such as subsidized access to graphics processing unit, clusters, and funding for promising projects are encouraging steps towards goals. So you should know what India has done. India AI missions initiatives, subsidized access to graphics processing units, GPU, subsidized access. So this India has done, which is appreciable. Let's move to the next article. Next article talks about budgeting for a gender inclusive 𝑉𝐶𝑖ત Bharat. In GS paper 3, if you open the syllabus, you can see government budgeting is the syllabus, and gender budgeting has been asked from time and again. It was first introduced in the budget in the year 2005. Okay, so there's a holistic vision of 𝑉𝐶𝑖ત Bharat that Finance Minister presented in this budget, which includes what all? Zero poverty, universal good quality school education, skilled labor and meaningful employment, and 70% women in economic activities, right? So these 4 areas that our finance minister is trying to work upon. And one of the most notable advancements in the budget is the increase in the gender budget, right? So till now, in the last 2 decades, this is the budget which has given the most money to the women, the gender budgeting, right? Which is 8.8% of the total budget. Significant jump from 6.8% in the previous budget. This is the highest allocation in 2 decades for gender budgeting, right? Further, this year, 12 additional central ministries have integrated gender budgets, reflecting a whole of government approach to gender mainstreaming. Which are the ministries that has newly introduced gender budgeting? They are railways, ports, shipping, waterways, land resources, pharmaceuticals, and food processing industries. Okay. So this is an important data. If any question comes regarding women, you should also mention in the conclusion what government is doing regarding it, right? So it has increased the budget. That is good thing, right? And so many ministries have introduced gender budgeting. As per periodic labor force survey, India's female labor force participation has also risen. In 2021-22, it was 32%, and 2023-24, it became 42%. And global average is around 47%. So we are not that behind, only 5%. But the men's labor force participation is around 79%. Okay. So here we are very much behind. And it's so achieving the ambitious target of 70% women's participation in economic activities by 2047 is one of the goals of 𝐿𝐿𝐴 Bharat, and we should try to do it. So a lot of initiatives are mentioned regarding it, right? How women should be encouraged, like entrepreneurship, productive resources, social security entitlements, like in education, jobs, and political, participation. All that is required. What are the schemes mentioned? Skill India, Entrepreneurship and Skill Development Program, National Skill Training Institute, 𝑑īn Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Rural Livelihood Mission, Manrega, Krishnoti Yojana, Prime Minister Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana. All these schemes you should search right now. Do Google search and see what all these schemes are. As UPSC aspirants, you should know it, right? Sustainable livelihood for urban workers, with 90% of India's working women engaged in the informal sector. So very bad status of women, that 90% of working women are in informal sector. Only 10% are enjoying quality jobs or quality lifestyle. The budget's proposal to formalize gig workers by issuing identity cards and registering them on the Shram portal is also a good step. Okay. Establishment of a center of excellence on the AI for the education sector and a dedicated 600 crore gender budget under the India AI mission demonstrate the government's intent to harness AI for social good for women also. Okay. So all these schemes are mentioned which can be used for government, like government's Udyam portal, where MSMEs will be registered, and women-owned enterprises. Around 27 million people are employed there, and they will get ease of Udyam portal also. Bain and Company has also given that data that 30 million additional women-owned business could generate 150 to 170 million jobs, accounting for over 25% of the job creation that is needed for India's working age population. So women's participation in the economy and business can lead a lot of good results for the 𝐿𝐴 Bharat. Right? This can be used in answers of GS paper 1, GS paper 3, and several things, and even GS paper 2 it can come. Let's move to the next article. So this is something, about the superpower, that is USA. Implication of the AI diffusion framework. This comes under GS paper 2, effects of policies or politics of developed country affecting India's interest. Okay. So what has happened? US, before Trump came, the Biden-Harris administration had brought a framework for artificial intelligence diffusion. So they have brought this to make sure that US hegemony, that US is the superpower, is maintained in the AI sector, right? Balancing innovation and national security. Right. So what they have done, I'll tell you. They have created 3 tiers of people. Okay. So US is supreme and most advanced in the AI technology stacks, like AI chips, chip making tools, and closed AI model weights. So other countries keep importing and asking for the technology from USA. So they have created 3 tiers of countries. Tier 1 is of the allies or the friends of US that US trusts the most. The third tier is the group of countries which are adversaries of USA, like China, Iran, right? So third tier is China, North Korea, Iran, and Russia. The second tier is the country which is normal. I mean, there's a controlled way the government can give the technology of AI, which includes India and all the other countries other than the allies in the tier 1 and adversaries in the tier 3. So we come in the tier 2. Okay, so we need certain conditions to take the AI technology that we need to bring from them. The framework for AI diffusion evaluates India solely by its technological capabilities in AI, while ignoring the strategic value of the India-US partnership. So editor thinks India should have been given the place in tier 1, but sadly we are in tier 2 and we do not have that kind of privilege here. Okay, so you should know about this. Let's move to the next article. So very important article from GS paper point 2. Should, firstly this, degraded forest land identified for green credit program. So 57,700 hectares, 17 states have set aside degraded forest land for tree plantation under the green credit program. Okay, it rewards environmental actions by individual communities and the private sector. You should know these data. What is green credit program by the states? Let's come to this important, very important article. Should convicted persons contest elections? So a lot of cases, Supreme Court cases have come around it. This comes under GS paper 2, salient features of representation of People's Act. Okay, so what is there? Right now, there's a petition filed by a person who says that there should be a lifetime ban on people for fighting elections and they're convicted. Okay, lifetime ban on convicted persons from contesting election. They should not participate in election for their entire life. Okay, that is the petition, that is this person wants, but that is not the case. What is the status? What are the legal provisions around the convicted individuals? Section 8 clause 3 of RPA 1951, Representation of People Act, is important part of the GS paper 2 syllabus. So section 8 clause 3 of RPA 1951 provides for the disqualification of a person convicted of a criminal offence and sentenced to imprisonment for not less than 2 years. So anybody who is, for not less than 2 years or more, they cannot participate in election up to 6 years from the date of release. This is under section 8 clause 3. Okay. So post this, there are other Supreme Court verdicts around it. In association ADR case of 2002, it mandated the disclosure of criminal records of all candidates contesting elections. Okay. So under section 62 clause 5 stipulates that a person in jail is not eligible to vote, in the election, so they cannot even contest the elections if they are under trials. But the parliament amended this act in 2013 to overturn this judgment. Okay, so till this section 62 clause 5 said the under trials could not participate. Parliament amended in 2013 and allowed under trials to participate. But then again, Supreme Court in Lily Thomas case 2013, court struck down section 8 clause 4 and said that a sitting legislator continuing as a member even after being convicted if they filed an appeal as unconstitutional and against political justice. So now a sitting legislator who is convicted but filed an appeal cannot participate in the election. So very important case. Okay, section 11 of the RP Act 1951 also gives power to election commission, which may remove any disqualification or reduce the period of disqualification of a convicted person, which EC has done in past, which was not appreciated by a lot of people. Okay, so this is important. So the current petition says there should be a lifetime ban on convicted individuals from contesting election, because they cannot get, such people cannot get junior government jobs. So why should they be given this important political post? Okay, but central government has disagreed with it and said the MPs and MLAs are not bound by any service conditions like the government jobs. Okay, so this Supreme Court but has spoken against the criminalization of politics. This data we can see, the Association of Democratic Reforms data, that 251 of 543 elected MPs, which is 46%, around 50%, a little bit less than 50%, have criminal cases against them, and 171 face serious criminal charges like rape, murder. 31% faces serious criminal charges. So all the MPs sitting in the legislature right now in the parliament, 31% are facing serious criminal charges, and there's a data which says the candidate with criminal background has 15.4% chance of winning the election than a candidate with clean background, just 4%. Okay, so this is really bad. This leads to criminalization of politics. A lot of commissions have argued against it. Right? Let's move to the next article. Okay. So in this 𝐼𝐞𝐥 conversation, they have further talked about the India-France bilateral relation, where the small modular reactors, which we talked about in the 12th February news, also small modular reactors are those nuclear reactors that produces nuclear energy less than 300 megawatts. Okay, so small modular reactors are factory fabricated nuclear reactors. They're factory fabricated, smaller in size and capacity than the conventional nuclear reactors. So they will also, the India and France are talking about it. Okay, let's move to the next article. Yes. So try tightens rules against spam calls and text message. It comes under GS paper 2. Regulatory bodies. TRI is a regulatory body. Okay. So legitimate business messages will now have further disclosure requirements. Customers will be able to identify the type of commercial message by giving a prefix in the, by giving a suffix. Okay. What will be the suffix? P for promotional message, S for service related message, T for transactional messages, and G for government related message, so that customers know if they want to see that message or not. There should be an announcement beforehand. That's it for 13th February. Thank you.